Welcome to the Cinema Shit Show. With these two movie nerds. Hope your mom's not listening.
We're off to a great start. So
I think it kind of like, I take notes, but I find that it kind of works better when you're just kind of like stream of conscious, like you're not super in your head.
Right.
So like I took notes, but probably not as extensively as I should. Because honestly, I kind of feel like this is more of a vibey movie. I mean, I know it has a lot of influences, but it's just like, I kind of got to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm just going to talk about how vibey and cool it is. And I hope you guys are okay with that.
Sweet. So
No, I actually feel the same way. This is my third time watching that this year, and I'm amazed at how fast this movie goes by. Like, it's 90 minutes, and it feels like it's like it never stops going. Like, there's always something going on. But yeah, it's like there's not a super lot to talk about. Like, it definitely is, like you said, it's like a vibe. It's yeah. Anyways, I enjoy it, but that's why we have Nix, because Nix keeps the shit going.
I have a purpose in life.
Is that like the kind of dynamic you guys have?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
Nix does like the research and like all the like nerdy information and kind of the.
I'm gonna be a nerd right now. Do you guys know your Myers-Briggs personality type?
Oh,
No.
I think I'm an INFP. I think.
Are you serious?
I think so.
I'm an INFP.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would describe myself as an extroverted introvert. That's the best I can do.
I'm.
Well, it's a little bit different than that.
I definitely can attest to that. I think that at points can be extroverted, but I think I tend to be more introverted. So
Okay, well, if anybody's confused,
Oh, are we recording right now?
yes.
hey,
didn't
that's my favorite thing when podcasts are like going for like 10 minutes and somebody's like, "Wait, are we recording?"
So
that's good.
So it's a Sunday. It's a Sunday morning. Well, it's morning for me. I think it's a noontime for y'all. And we're here to talk about a movie. We started off by finding out that Shithead Shinobi did in fact take notes this time, but he decided to not bring them with him. So we're off to a great start. Today, and Ben, it's great that you're actually awake and with us this time, buddy. We tried to do this last week, and Ben somehow slept through his alarms, slept through the phone calls, and so we rescheduled for today. So I'm glad you made it, buddy.
Thank
we
you.
have a guest with us today, which I don't know why I bother saying that, because we always have a guest. And we have with us Jamila, and she is... Hi! She's she's part of the Scheist International Film Club, which is where we all met, and she's kicking off her own podcast called Read It Peep, and you can look for it on Twitter that way, or you can go to @Read It Peep, and that's Peep Peep, sort of like the Easter candies.
Yeah, exactly.
So since it's not out yet, do you want to give like the premise of what you guys are going for?
Yeah, basically, me and my co-host Heather, we love reading, and I love movies, and we decided we wanted to start a podcast in which we read any written work. It doesn't just have to be a book, like it could be a play or short story or whatever. And then we watch an adaptation or several adaptations. It could be a movie or it could be a TV show, and yeah, we just like compare it and talk about it. We're kind of trying to figure out like what makes a good adaptation, because she kind of has this opinion that I think a lot of book lovers have, that the book is always better, you know. Yeah, just have fun, talk about books, talk about movies.
Well, I can't wait for you guys to do Spawn.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that's going to be on their list.
I'm
I mean,
sure.
listen, she's really big into horror films, like
Oh, okay.
way more than most people, so it might be.
Oh,
We're definitely going to do a lot of Stephen King, which
No.
kind of ties
plenty.
into this.
Oh yeah, that name comes up a lot in this movie. Which reminds me, Ben, we watched a movie. What movie did we watch, Ben?
we watched In the Mouth of Madness.
He got the title right.
Oh, yes.
I've been saying Into the Mouth of Madness. 1994. I think that's right.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, good.
Directed. Oh yeah, go.
I wanted to speak real quick on the podcast idea. I think that's a great idea. I haven't seen anybody do that, and I probably tend to lean towards your co-host's take that yes, the book usually is better. But there are a lot of great adaptations, so you guys should have a lot of fun with that, and I'm really looking forward to listening to it when it comes out.
And doing Stephen King ones will that'll fill a fucking year probably. There's
right,
so many.
like it.
That's you have plenty of stuff to cover, so that's great.
Yeah.
So it's In the Mouth of Madness from 1994. It's directed by the great John Carpenter, and maybe an unpopular opinion, but I think this is the last good movie he ever made. Because after this, we got like Ghost of Mars, which is a hilarious shit show. Yeah, that's a good party movie. And then I think what was the one, Ben, you had brought it up, the one where the girl is in like the asylum or whatever. He did like 5 years ago.
I can't think of the name.
I remember. Unimpressed. So it's good. I think he should have just wrapped it up after this one, but it's got quite a stacked cast. You've got Sam Neill, Julie Carmen, Styles, Jürgen Prochnow from Das Boot. You got David Warner in here, and John Glover, who was the great Clamp in Gremlins 2. He's the Charlton Heston shows up. It was probably not his last thing, because he did that Planet of the Apes with Tim Burton, but I hadn't seen him in something in a long time, so it was kind of cool to see him show up. The older lady is Frances Bay. You'll know her when you see her. You see her in a lot of stuff. And a very young Hayden Christensen shows up at the very, very end. He's a little
Really?
Yep. He's the little paper boy at the end that points Sam Neill in the direction of the highway.
Wow.
So, I almost forgot. I can't forget. Wilhelm von Homburg is in this movie. You may not know the name. You'll know the face. He was Vigo the Carpathian from Ghostbusters 2. And in here, he's little Johnny's dad in the odd town that we go to.
Okay.
Yeah, so lots of you know him when you see him, people, when you watch this one.
All right.
So, Jamila, you're the first. It's your first time. We always do like a quick summary to kind of like sum up what is the movie about, what's going on. I'm gonna throw that to you.
Right. I actually saw this a while ago. I did this like horror movie challenge, but anyway, it's about this insurance agent, and he is hired to investigate this fraud claim. This author, Sutter Kane, he disappears, and their publishing company wants him to investigate and find out where he is, so that they can release his new book. And so it's kind of like this weird kind of like X-Files dynamic he has with the editor, where he just doesn't believe anything supernatural is going on, but of course he's going to be proven wrong. And after that, it's just kind of like a fun time. Well, not fun for them. It's like they go to this town and all this crazy stuff is happening, and they find out the manuscript is driving people crazy, and it's like this weird Lovecraftian thing, and he eventually gets driven crazy too, and that's the end.
So I'm glad you brought up the Lovecraft thing, because I would consider this the best Lovecraft film that's not actually based on Lovecraft.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
and you've read a lot of his stories?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a dream come true for me, because, aside from Reanimator and From Beyond, which are, more kind of like special effects, gore, and kind of black humor, it was kind of cool to see them try to take the ideas and the themes that Lovecraft always dealt with and build around that. Even the title of the movie, In the Mouth of Madness, is a play on a Lovecraft story called At the Mountains of Madness, which...
okay. Yeah, I think I read that. It was interesting.
Yeah, Guillermo...
Oh, sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say, Guillermo del Toro almost made an adaptation of At the Mountains of Madness. That would have been cool. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah. This was interesting to me, because when I was watching the film for the first time, I was like, oh, so this is like a Stephen King thing. This is what this author is inspired by. And I feel like a lot of people think that, and, they even include that reference. And then I come to find out, oh, no, but this is directly references H.P. Lovecraft, which I'm not familiar with any of his works. My co-host Heather is not familiar with any of them either. So this was interesting to watch.
Well, yeah. I will. So, because we were talking before we started recording, we were finding out the history of hush puppies, and Jamila and I were both like, it's got to be something racist, right?
Right.
Well, H.P. Lovecraft was a huge racist.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's one of those those times where you can separate the artist from the art, and you really need to.
Right. And in spite of that, there was that show that was a black cast that was like kind of referencing
Lovecraft Country, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched the pilot, and I was like, I'm not sure that this is for me, but I might check it out again.
I completely forgot about it. I meant to check it out. I did get...
It was pretty beloved. A lot of people were disappointed that it was canceled.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they haven't buried it like they did with a lot of...
Oh, and that guy, Jonathan Majors is in it.
Oh, yeah, the Ant-Man and Marvel stuff, right?
Well, that's not what he's known for anymore.
Yeah, not right now. He's got some legal issues, some abuse accusations, I believe, going on.
Yeah, not really accusations anymore.
No. It's really sad, because his career was really taking off, and he's a really good actor. So I'm really sad to see that. But
so anyway, we're not here to talk about ongoing lawsuits and whatnot. So
right.
When this movie kicks off, it kicks off with the cheesiest goddamn rock music you have ever heard. So it's just this electric guitar and some drums, and that's pretty much all that it sounds like. Originally, Carpenter wanted it to be what's that? Metallica's Enter Sandman.
Oh god.
And I guess they couldn't afford the rights, so he's just like, fuck it, we'll just make our own. And yeah, we've got Metallica at home, kids. This music in no way fits the tone of the rest of the film at all. It is.
I thought it was great.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh god, I hate the beginning of this movie maybe more than like any opening to any movie ever. It's so bad.
Just that one part, just the music in the
just
beginning.
Just like the printing and like they're showing these random shots of like a book being made. It's just so cheesy. It's like
Oh, I love it. What's wrong with you guys?
Well, I love the visuals. I like the close-ups of the printing press and all that. I thought that was cool.
No, not for me.
Taking it to an extreme, Ben.
Thumbs down.
But when we're done with all that, we actually start in an insane asylum, and really cool design for the building. It's really visually interesting. It's an old it's a water treatment plant, somewhere in Canada, I believe. And we're introduced to John Glover, who runs the psych ward. And this is where we're introduced to John Trent, who is our hero. This is Sam Neill. He's dragged in wearing a what do you call those?
Straight jacket.
Straight jacket. That's right. Screaming, kind of fighting with the orderlies and whatnot. He kicked some dude in the balls.
Right.
And as they're dragging him away, or when they throw him in his cell, one of the greatest lines, he goes, "I'm sorry about the balls. It was a lucky shot." So this movie's kind of weird because it really teeters on sometimes just being absolutely hilarious and also like really creepy. I mean, it's a weird balance. And then at that point, that's when the Carpenter's music, like a Muzak version. Yes.
So completely side note from the movie, but one of my favorite records growing up was I think it was DGC, David Geffen Company. They did a compilation. They took a bunch of bands. Nirvana was on there. I think the Breeders were on there. Sonic Youth was on there. And it was all Carpenter's covers. And
Oh, nice.
still to this day, I absolutely love that album. It's just so good. So that just like brought me back to like when I was a teenager listening to that, and I was like, oh, the Carpenters.
I really love this song. My parents, used to play it all the time. My mom told me that it was her like junior high graduation song. So it's like one of those cheesy songs that has like a special place for me. It was funny.
Is it We've Only Just Begun? Is that
Yeah.
first point? Okay.
Yeah.
And
No,
you
it's great. I love the Carpenters. It's not in my normal wheelhouse, but I love them, so I was happy to hear it.
She was so talented. Have you seen her drumming? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I have.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No.
So what's kind of cool is you can hear all the inmates singing along with it.
Yeah.
And Sam Neill screams out. Well, this was really funny too. He goes, "I'm not insane," and then you hear a crazy in the room next to him go, "I'm not if he's not."
He also says not the Carpenters, and then I feel like that was the first moment where it's like, okay, there's a meta element to this film.
Yeah.
John Carpenter.
And it was produced by his now wife Deborah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I think that it's like Nix was saying, like this movie really, they don't shy away from doing humorous jokes, and which I think is good, because I think maybe otherwise it would just be like super dark and depressing, and
which is why I just was not in the mood to watch Prince of Darkness, which I know is a part of this trilogy. I was just like, no, I need some funny and some gory. I need the balance.
Yeah, you mentioned the trilogy. What we're referring to is Carpenter actually calls it this as well. He calls it his Apocalypse trilogy, and it's just kind of loosely connected films, and that consist of The Thing, and then Prince of Darkness, and this one. They all kind of deal with like end of the world scenarios, sort of things, is how they all kind of tie together. And that's why I would say I would throw Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, in there as well, even though he didn't direct it. It really fits that theme as well. Well, this is when it actually the movie starts to show you, just how kind of cool and creepy it can be. Because while he's looking out the window of the porthole of his padded cell, all of a sudden you see a shadow behind him, and that's where we first see Sutter Kane. So, and also you kind of get the hint. They're giving you hints and stuff's happening outside of the asylum. Like things are getting bad out there, but you don't know exactly what it is at this point. So now we get into we got to have the doctor comes in to interview him. Sam Neill's been drawing crosses with a black crayon all over the walls, on his clothes, and on his face. Can you draw on yourself with a crayon?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't think so, but they did a good job of it.
Wait, did we know for sure it was a crayon?
Yes.
They sure it was a crayon? Okay.
Because when the doctor is being let in there, he's like, has he said anything? Did he ask for anything? And they said all he asked for was a black crayon. So yeah. Anyway, he's gonna interview John Trent to find out what's going on, and so now we're going into a flashback, and this is where the actual movie or the full story starts. We're introduced to him. He's an insurance investigator, so he's supposed to bust people that are making false insurance claims. We're introduced to that with a great scene of a guy completely drenched in sweat. It's kind of cool, and that's where he gets the he's sitting getting his next job, and they're at a restaurant or something, and there's a big pane of glass behind him, and you can see across the street. I think it was it might have been a bookstore or a toy store. I can't remember what it was, but
I think it was a bookstore.
I would think so. And then and as they're talking, you can see this dude, people running out of the store, and dude comes out and he's holding an axe. He does not look well. There's something very wrong with this man. And he heads straight for them, and smashes the window, and he's about he's got Sam Neill trapped below him, and what does he say?
What does he say?
Do you read Sutter Kane?
Oh, is that what
it?
Says? Okay.
Yep.
You'll hear that quite a bit. And then he I think he says something else as well. I can't.
He's like, do you see? Do you see? Didn't they keep saying that?
Yeah, I think that's
or
what
he
they were
sees
all...
you. I know they say
he
that.
He sees you. Yeah, they say
they
like
talk
a
about
bunch of things
seeing
like that.
a lot, and then you could see his eyes, his pupils. They're like stretched out. It looked like mitosis or something. Like, and then I saw this, and like, not to like derail things, but it just made me think of, I don't know if you guys ever saw Bird Box. It reminded me of how their eyes looked like in Bird Box, and so I was like, is that a Lovecraft inspired film and book?
Maybe.
I don't know.
From what I haven't seen it, but the description of it sounds kind of like it, because whenever you read a Lovecraft, he's great at building this mood and this sense of unease and all that, and then your narrator finally gets down to the bottom of the stairs of the mysterious, whatever tunnel or whatever's going to happen, and then it's like, and it was so terrifying I can't explain it, but it drove him crazy. So, so that sounds kind of similar. If you look at them, it drives you immediately insane.
Right.
Anyway, dude gets shot before he can kill Sam Neill. So Sam Neill's got the job. He goes in. He goes to meet. Oh, by the way, you notice when the guy got shot, there were no blood capsules, no squibs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently they didn't have the budget for it. They couldn't afford that. So,
What?
Is the budget or?
Yeah.
Because what was this? What was this rated? Wasn't this rated R?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so they could have done that. Okay.
If they had
Weird.
the money. Yeah.
Okay, but that's confusing because there's some really crazy effects in this movie. How was Squibs taken off the? I don't know about that. It seems like an oversight, and they just
Not according
Yeah.
to Carpenter. Carpenter says that is specifically why this movie was only made for $8 million.
Wow.
They
Which-
just ran out of money for that scene.
Right. They had to pick and choose where they were going to spend it, and they did. I think they put it on the things that were important, which is our creatures and locations and stuff.
I love that scene so much. By the way, it's just like
Which one?
when it happens, like when the guy comes in with the axe.
Yes.
You're just like, I am ready. Like, this is a movie. Like, I'm here for this.
Yeah.
So he gets a job. He goes to the book publisher, which is run by Charlton Heston, and you find out that Sutter Kane, the writer of these best-selling books, they like to say, he sells more than Stephen King. You hear stuff like that a couple of times. And that's where we find out the guy with the axe that just tried to kill him was Sutter Kane's agent.
Right.
So already pieces are starting to come together that something ain't right. And we also find out that the agent was the only one, I think, one of the only people that had read his new book, which is not, they don't have the full manuscript yet. So I find out that I guess some people are more susceptible, and when they read Sutter Kane's stuff, they start to go a little bit wonky. And some of them are like ransacking bookstores and whatnot, clamoring for the next one to come out and stuff like that. So something's fucked up. Oh, what the fuck? What does this year's hula hoop mean? Does anybody know what I was talking about?
I don't know. Were you doing a review for Hudsucker's Proxy?
That's funny.
I have no idea what that note means. But we're introduced to Styles as well, who works for the book publisher. And Sam Neill immediately tries to get in her pants. She has none of it.
Which he seems to do with every single woman that he comes across.
Yeah.
Does he really interact with any other women?
You're right. He doesn't do it with Grandma.
The redhead in the beginning. The redhead.
Who's the redhead?
The secretary that walks in there? Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I mean,
So,
I feel it. She was cute.
I wish that she would have been the lead instead of the other one, but
Oh no, I like her. I thought she was cute.
No, I do too, but I'm just saying, like, visually, I would have preferred that.
Okay. Alright, Ben likes redheads.
I do not discriminate by hair color. I will.
I mean, I don't either, but redheads are nice. That's all. Anyways,
For sure.
So she kind of like eggs him on. It's like because he keeps talking about he doesn't believe that Sutter Kane's really missing. He thinks it's a thing for publicity or whatnot. He doesn't get the whole thing. He's not a big horror reader, and she kind of eggs him on. It's like maybe you should actually read his stuff because maybe you just can't get it or whatever. It's like a dare. So he goes out and he buys like every book. There's like 5 books out so far, I think, from what I could tell. And that's where another fucking weirdo that does not look well asks him, something about Sutter Kane and whatnot, and freaks him out.
He asked him. They all say like, "Do you see? Are you seeing?"
Okay.
Something like that.
or we see you, or do you see? We see you.
He sees you.
He sees you. Yeah.
So on the way home, he walks by. There's these giant promotional posters of the last book that came out, and there's like a tear in one, and he kind of flicks at it a little bit, and around the corner in the alleyway, you see a bunch of homeless people, and there's a cop beating on one of them, just beating the shit out of him. And Sam kind of stops and watches, and then he's like, "Oh," the cop looks at him, and Sam Neill's like, "Oh, I guess I better go." And the cop's like, "You want somebody?" And he goes home, and he's reading all these books. I guess he must be a speed reader because, I don't know, he's gotten through a couple of them. And then he has a nightmare. And he's back in the alleyway. And now it's just the cop and one person, and the cop is now all mutated and whatnot. His face is all fucked up. And at that point, all the homeless people show up behind Sam. So now he is trapped in this alleyway. And when you see everybody behind him, they've all got axes, and they must all shop at the same axe store because they all look exactly the same. He wakes up from his nightmare, and he kind of rubs his eyes, and the print from the book has been coming off on his fingers. So it wipes under his eyes, and is kind of like makes him look kind of crazed. And
yeah. I think it's kind of like foreshadowing what we saw in the beginning when he had the crayon stuff all over.
Yes, which I still don't think is possible to do. But somebody email us and let us know. Can you write on yourself with a crayon?
Send them a picture. Send them a picture, just like a bunch of crosses.
I like it.
I think it's at this point, like, he looks at one of the covers and he notices that there's this red outline on it. It's like, almost looks kind of random. And he all of a sudden has this big aha eureka moment. Each of the covers has a little red outline on it. He starts cutting them like they're puzzle pieces. And I'm going, he cannot be the only person in the world to just notice that each of these covers has something hidden on it. There's no fucking way. Anyway, he puts them all together, and it leads. You put them on a map, and it looks like it forms a town in New Hampshire, called Hobbs End.
Yeah,
which is the fictional town that Sutter Kane writes about all the time.
Right.
So now Stiles and Trent, they go on a road trip to go find Hobbs End and hopefully find Sutter Kane. And here's where Sam Neill really shows off his flirtation tactics. Stiles is asleep in the passenger seat as they're driving along.
God, this is the worst.
He knows how to woo the women. She's sound asleep as he's driving. He reaches into the glove box, and there is a fucking clown horn in there for some reason. I guess in case his actual car horn breaks, he can hold it out the window and honk at people. But and he honks it in her ear and then pretends like he did nothing.
Right.
It's like, dude, that is not the way to get in her pants.
I mean,
also,
if he's Sam Neill, it would work on me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Sam Neill could do pretty much anything back in the day, and that would work. So,
he's still a good-looking guy.
If somebody did that to me, I would be so angry. I don't even know what I would do. Well, she starts hitting him, so I guess she did the right thing.
She threw
She
chips
starts
at
hitting him while he's driving. I'm like, I know you're mad, but like, he's got the wheel, honey.
I mean, from personal experience, I've had that happen. So,
but she throws potato chips at him, and he says, "Never throw chips at the driver," which is silly.
Wait, can we establish something?
No.
Like, because I could not figure out, is he supposed to be American?
I don't think they ever specify.
Right. Because he acts like an American, right? He acts like an American, but he's like, seems like he's kind of doing an accent, but it's not good. But I'm just like, love him, but like, what's going on?
Wait, isn't Sam Neill from like
Australia?
New Zealand or Australia? Yeah. So I also noticed that in the movie that in certain parts he definitely goes back to his Australian accent.
Yeah. Well, and like most of it.
He's
like
definitely he's definitely supposed to be American though. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure.
he's like coded as an American. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
obnoxious American workaholic. I'm like,
Right.
are you?
Well, I'm just gonna say it's reality already unraveling. How about that? I
Okay.
explained it away.
There you go.
So we get a lot of driving scenes at this point. And it's night. It finally gets to nighttime, and this is where it starts to get creepy again. Because you see a little kid riding a bike in the middle of the night down this deserted road. And then then all of a sudden they hit him because he all of a sudden comes the other way. It's like it doesn't make any sense, and all of a sudden this kid is like 90 years old looking, but he's still got a child body.
Right.
And when it's kind of creepy. It's not the greatest old age makeup, but when you hear the child voice say, "He won't let me leave," and it comes out of that old face, it's really kind of disturbing. Yes, Ben.
Didn't at this point they switch drivers and she's driving?
Yeah, she's driving.
Yeah.
Because
Which I
all
thought...
of this stuff. Go ahead.
Oh no, you can continue.
No, I was just gonna say because there's a funny scene when they get there and he goes, I slept through the night. Thanks for driving. And like all this crazy stuff had happened while he was
Right. No, because she hits the kid and she's clearly like really just messed up about it, and he's just like, okay, keep on driving.
Right?
What an asshole. Like, no, you're driving now because this kid, we just did a hit and run and then he disappeared and I'm freaked the hell out. Obviously, she should not be driving if she's hitting kids. Like, and you're just going to go back to sleep?
Hey.
You just go back to sleep.
Listen, it's a typical man, right? Like, they're just
oblivious.
Oblivious to the world.
Oh my God.
But yeah, kid after saying, he won't let me leave, she looks away, and when she looks back, the kid's just on his bike and rides off, like nothing happened. But yeah, then we get to the crazy shit happening. She's driving, and then all of a sudden you start seeing like flashes, and she looks off to the side. And there's like windows with light coming through, passing them, and she looks. Well, first of all, I think she looks out the window because it got super dark.
Yeah.
And you can see the sky below the car
right.
with like lightning, which is fucking cool as shit. And then the stuff starts flashing, and if you're allergic to strobe lights or whatever, that scene could be a little traumatic. And then all of a sudden, she's on a covered bridge. It just shows up out of nowhere, and it's daytime, and they're in this non-existent town of Hobson. And that's where Trent wakes up and was like, "Ugh." They go into the town. The town's basically it looks like it's uninhabited. There's nobody there, and she's wearing the most horrendous pantsuit I've ever seen.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh,
it's so bad. It's so bad.
Oh my God.
It's so bad.
I thought she was a baddie the whole entire time.
Yeah?
And I didn't even realize that.
I mean, they're like each leg is like one big bell bottom. It's terrible. I'm not a fan of pantsuits, and this is the worst one I think I've ever seen.
I'm okay with pantsuits, but this was just like over the top. It was like oh God, what's her name? Diane Keaton. And like every Woody Allen movie with like the giant like art teacher like flowy, but it did not look good on her.
And do guys not think that's cute?
Not this one.
I mean, I do. I love that like art teacher like old lady kind of look, but
I prefer my art teachers in skirts.
Oh my God.
Okay, wait. No, is this the white outfit that she's wearing?
Yeah, like the cream color one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's like giving
bad.
like I'm a ghost,
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that take.
No, you're like, like in movies, like when somebody's dead and then they come in like a dream or whatever, and they're always like wearing like white.
Billowy
It's like giving
kind
like,
of things, yeah.
I'm a dead mom.
Mm.
I'm a ghost dad. So they I guess because they didn't really see anybody there, they head to the inn, and this is where we meet the old lady. Also, where we're introduced to this really like creepy painting in the background. It's just two people standing. It's based on some sort of like classic painting. I can't place which one it is.
Oh,
But
is it?
It looks like it to me. And it's just a guy and a lady are like standing next to a lake. It's kind of idyllic, I guess, would be a way to describe it. So they check in. Trent starts going on his rant about, this is fake. It's all you guys, hired this town to, send people to so that they can, kind of live the Sutter Kane adventure or whatever. And she's like, no, this is real. This is I didn't know this existed. And he goes, well, if you look out this window over here, there's supposed to be a church. And see, there's no church out this window. She's like, well, that's because you're looking out the wrong fucking window, you idiot. It's over on this side. And that's where we get the black church, which when they drive up to it, it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It's actually a real church. It is called the church or the Cathedral of the Transfiguration, and it's in Markham, Ontario. And I thought that was interesting because Arkham is the town that Lovecraft always wrote about, and it's just a coincidence. But I thought Markham and Arkham, haha.
Okay.
So they go to check out the church, which is very, very cool. The local yokels show up, and they've all got guns and shit, and they're yelling. Kane is apparently in this church and has stolen Vigo the Carpathian's son Johnny, and Kane kind of fucks with them a little bit. The doors slam and shit, and it's all rather spooky. And then a bunch of dogs attack them, and everybody runs away.
It's crazy because they have guns, and they just like forget that they have guns, and they just get mauled by these dogs.
One of them, at least one of them, does take a shot, I think.
Yeah, and the rest of them are like.
This is giving me flashbacks to Monster Dog.
Oh no. Also, Sutter Kane, he looks like Neil Gaiman.
I like that.
And that's Jürgen Prochnow, who plays Sutter Kane. He gives a pretty good performance in this.
He's good, yeah.
Yeah. So everybody runs away. Styles and Trent, they head back to the inn, and this is where you can see that the painting is kind of changed, because now I think the dude is looking directly out of the painting, and I think his eyes are kind of fucked up. Is that what was going on?
Yeah, there was like some weird gory, and it looked like them. It looked like them, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I got out of it, at least.
Which I thought was also kind of like, it was like, this movie, I don't think we really get into this, has this whole meta element to it. And I don't know, I felt like it was kind of saying like, oh, it's this art, life is influencing art sort of thing. Like, I don't know, like you could interpret it as like this Lovecraftian thing, or it just seems like it's commenting on like fandom in general. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, absolutely, and yeah, there are very meta levels to this, and especially as it moves on, and you find out exactly what Kane is capable of, and what he's been doing. So we forgot to mention there are a bunch of kids in this town, and we always see them chasing this dog, and of course that makes me go, something terrible is going to happen to the fucking dog. So At one point, I think Styles left. Right? Didn't she? She got mad and she took the key. She took the car. So now Trent, when he goes down and he's looking at the picture, the old lady is behind the desk, and he hears like some sort of noise, like, and she's like kicking something down below.
Dude, so creepy,
right? And finally, the camera shows us what's going on, and her old husband, is handcuffed to her leg and completely naked on the floor behind the desk.
Which I thought was like interesting because in the beginning she's just like a nice, cute old lady, and then it's when she tells him, "Hey, no, this is that character from the story," that he starts seeing things. You know?
Yeah. Well, she also she's acting kind of like weird, like she doesn't want to answer questions or anything like that. And I think she goes back to the church. That's right. That's where she was going. And then we see the kids again, but now they look like little monster kids. And the dog is missing a leg. So something terrible did happen to the dog, of course. And she gets in there. Yeah.
Is this the part, I wrote it down because I love this line, where the kid is like, "You're my mommy. Know what today is? Today is mommy's day."
So creepy. Oh god.
Oh my god.
Kids are creepy. Kids are so creepy in horror movies.
So yep,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, they've got like fucking monster teeth, and their face looks kind of rotted and whatnot. You can definitely tell they're changing. She goes in, she meets up with Sutter Kane. He starts telling her exactly what's going on. So he's talking, he's had all these major hit books and whatnot. And he says, I thought the ideas were coming from me and that I was doing this, but it turns out they were telling me what to write. And when he says they, he's referring to like the older gods, like the elder gods from before the time of man. And if you read any Lovecraft stuff, they kind of existed a different dimension throughout space. And the thing is, they tell him what to write, and it starts to convert more people. And the more people that are converted, then the doors are going to open, and these creatures are going to be able to come back into our world and basically take over.
It kind of reminded me of Cabin in the Woods. That's established. They have these gods
where they had to feed the blood to the Oof, man, that movie. I'm a huge fan of that movie, and the ending is just so good.
It's good, yeah.
I love it.
So I'm a big fan of Cabin in the Woods as well. I hate
Funny story, Cabin in the Woods. I went and saw that in the theaters opening weekend. I turned around and went and saw it a second time. That's how much I liked it. Yeah. I was like, because it played on so many tropes, but then it took things and like did it in a different way with a lot of cool things, like the scene, where they're going through and all the different monsters and horror characters are there, and I was just like, like nerding out as like a horror fan, like this is so cool. But yeah, anyways.
I was always disappointed that the monster that got picked was just the crazy redneck monster hillbillies.
Right.
I would have liked like a crazier kind of monster.
Right.
But no, other than that, it's fantastic. And then I think they start kissing, like Sutter Kane and Styles.
Right. She's like, "I want you to help me, and then she just starts making out with him.
It was so weird. It was so strange. It made absolutely no sense to me at all.
I was surprised that he didn't like just do it. Like, bro, this is what you were waiting for this whole entire time.
I know, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about when she comes back to talk to Trent? Yeah.
No, isn't this before? This is when she's like, "Hey, you need to help me. Like, we need to like read the end of the story. We need to find the story and read the end, and we won't be messed up." And he's just like, "No." Yeah, he's like, "No, you're crazy. You're crazy, dude. Like, I'm out here."
But yeah. So dude, this is your in, and I guess he does have morals, so that's good. But no, when she's in the church talking to Sutter Kane, they start, I think, like making out or something, and the camera I can't remember what they were doing.
Yes, and it's like the thing at the back of his head.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
He's got like a Quatu or whatever from a Total Recall coming out the back of his head. It looks fucking cool as shit. So yeah, at that point, Kane's back Trent is still at the inn at this point. And that's when Styles comes crashing through the door, and something wrong with her, and she just keeps going, I'm losing me. Which always kind of stuck out to me. Kind of reminded me of somebody on a bad trip, you know? And then at this point, this is where the painting is fully gone fucking demonic, and now the people have transformed into like creepy monsters. And he and Styles, I guess, are at least Sam Neill is leaving. Know what I noticed? I never noticed this before. I've seen this movie so many times. When they're first putting him in the lunatic asylum, they say put him in cell 9, and the room they're staying at the end is room number 9.
Oh, okay.
As well.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
So Sam goes off to the bar, and this is where we meet Vigo, the Carpathian, again. And this time he's got like a bloody face. He's got a chunk taken out of his face, and he says his little 5-year-old girl did that to him, like killed his wife and then did this to me. And he's telling him, you better get the fuck out of here. And he takes a shotgun and puts it under his chin. Sam's like, no, don't do that. And one of the coolest lines ever, Vigo goes, I have to. He wrote me this way. And boom, blows his head off.
It's very Jessica Rabbit, but not as sexy. Yeah.
Right. So Styles apparently he somehow gets Styles in the car, and she won't give him the keys. Apparently
she eats them.
Yes.
Doesn't she?
Yes. She like swallows them, and he smokes her in the face like twice.
I mean, yeah.
That was crazy. I was like, what is going on right now? You almost never see a man striking a woman in anything. And I was just like, they did it twice?
And this is the part where Roger Ebert checked out. And he was like,
no. So he ends up like jump starting the car, or not jump starting. What do you call that?
With like a screwdriver.
Yeah, he just takes a screwdriver and boom, it starts right up. Okay, it's we'll have to remember that style of car.
I think that's actually a thing that people do when they're jumping cars, is they use like a flathead screwdriver.
Okay.
I mean, you would to at least pop the fucking ignition off to get at it, but I don't think turning it.
I think back then the key systems weren't nearly as like complex as they are now.
Back then, 1994. It's not the 1930s.
They didn't have computers in cars back then.
Okay, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so. I had a 1986 Cutlass that didn't have any computers in it.
I am not a car scientist, so I am not sure.
I'm not either, but I just don't think. I don't remember ever seeing.
I don't think they're called car scientists.
At this point, I think this is where Sam finally, I think, pulls over, and you can see like the little kid in the phone booth. The one that was on the bike. I don't know who the fuck he's calling or whatever. He takes off. Styles like comes out of the car, and she's
God.
like flipped over upside down, but her head is right side up, and none of it looks right. None of it looks right at all. It's really creepy.
So one of my least favorite things in horror movies is like anything with like contortion or like bones cracking or like humans that are moving in ways that they shouldn't move.
Oh. So you didn't like Malignant, huh?
That movie was crazy.
I didn't like the first 2/3 of Malignant, but the end is awesome. Like,
all right.
I love how they. But it was just, I don't know. Anyways, we don't have to get into that.
Okay.
But I just love how he's just kind of like is not even connecting with what's going on because he's just like, no, this is like a trick, and I just need to get out of here.
Right.
Like she literally like reported himself, and she's just like, this is weird. Get away from me. Like he's not like really even reckoning with what's going on.
Yeah, because he takes off in the car alone now, and at one point you see Styles on the back of the bicycle with the old young kid, which is kind of creepy because she's like kind of waving her arms in the middle of the night, like it was kind of weird. And he keeps in and up driving into the same spot of town. No matter which way he goes, he always ends up right at the same spot where all the townspeople are with all their pitchforks and torches and whatnot waiting for him. He finally decides to drive through them. So I think he's finally catching on. But then
I would have done it the first time. I don't know what he was waiting for. I don't care about these people.
Listen, if there's a crowd of people with axes and pitchforks and fire and they're coming at me,
you're just gonna die. Yeah.
If it's you or me, it's gonna be you. It ain't gonna be me.
Well, he finally does it, and then at the end, he sees Styles standing in the middle of the street, so he swerves and wrecks the car like a fucking dumbass.
I know, right?
And she was just a hideous creature. So I don't understand. Fucking dumbass.
Oh, God.
So he wrecks the car, and you're like, oh, well, it's all over for him now. But then, boom, he wakes up, and he's in a confession booth in the church. And this is where he finally gets to talk to Kane. And, of course, he has his cigarettes with him, so Trent is always smoking. So he's having a smoke, I guess. If you notice, while he's in the confession booth, there's a light coming through the other side, through the the grate or whatever it is that you talk to the priest through. And the shadows it kind of puts on his face almost looks sort of like the crosses and stuff that he drew on there later, which I thought was a nice touch. So Sutter Kane's telling him what's going on and what he wants him to do. And at one point, Trent just tells him, anyways, your books suck. Sutter Kane tells Trent that it is his job to take the finished manuscript and deliver it so that finally everybody can be transfigured, transformed, and the old ones can come through and fulfill what they want to do. And then was this at the Styles comes back into play here, right? Because they're all in the church together. Styles starts I know what it is. You guys are not helping.
I told you it's just a vibe. Like, it doesn't make sense. You're just like, whoa, what's gonna happen next?
I don't think I've ever been more confused watching a movie than this movie. Like I never know if something's a dream, if it's real, if it's like in his head. Is he still in the padded cell? Like, you could tell me that all of this was fake, and I would be like, okay, that makes sense. And you could tell me all of it was real, and that would make sense. But I'm so confused. I've never been more confused.
Right.
And I'm confused a lot.
You gotta forgive us, Nick. So we're just two INFPs. We can't help ourselves.
Oh my God.
So what happens is Sutter explains everything to Trent. Styles is there, And Sutter's like, okay, it's finally the end. I can open up. And he like peels his face away. And it's like he's tearing the pages of a book open. And
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Really early blend of CGI and practical and compositing. And for 1994, it comes off really, really well. So he peels himself open, and you can see like words written on a page. And now reality has been torn open, and there's a hole through the realities. Trent walks up, and he's looking into the hole. Stiles has picked up the manuscript. She's reading from it. And what she's reading is exactly what is happening. She's like, Trent looked into the cold of the abyss, and this is what he saw, and this and that. Really, really effective, because they're not really showing us any of this. It's the way Sam Neill is acting and reacting, and how the words kind of play against that. It's quite a beautiful scene. And then there's the hallway back to reality that Sutter had pointed him to. So it's big, long. We saw a glimpse of it when we were coming over to the covered bridge. These were like the windows that were going past. And he starts running because now the old ones are coming back, the creatures, and he's running down this long, cool ass hallway. It looks like the floor is made of liquid, but I don't think you see any puddles like when he steps. So I'm not really sure how they did that. And as he's running down this hallway, you can see like, you can't see how many there are, but there is a mess of fucking creatures that are chasing him down this hallway. You don't get a good close up of them, but they look really, really fucking cool. You can't quite make out what it is about them, but they really tried to do that Lovecraft thing. You know, It was so hideous and crazy. I can't explain it. It drove you mad. And when I was younger, I would rent the VHS and I would like skip frame, like pause it and try to skip forward so I could look at the creatures a little bit more. But anyway, so he falls down. You think he's done for, but he wakes up on the side of the road, I guess. And this is where Hayden Christensen shows up, because he sees somebody on a bike. He thinks it's the creepy kid, but no, it's a different one. And he's like, hey, kid, have you ever heard of Hobbs End? And he's like, no. And so he's like, which way to the highway? Now the kid points straight ahead, the way he's riding the bike. And Trent walks the other way. Like, I don't know if it was
so it's so strange. I don't understand it at all.
I mean,
I don't remember that.
I would think, to me, it looks like a mistake. That they just didn't match the cuts up, or that the way they should have been.
Maybe he just wanted to take the street. He didn't want to go on the
highway. We get to a little motel. Trent finally arrives there. I guess he hitchhiked. Yeah, I think he got in like a semi truck at one point. And he shows up at a motel, and there's a television on playing a movie. Now, if it's a John Carpenter film and there's a television on, I've got 99% of the time it's going to be some old classic horror film. Because The Thing, the original The Thing from outer space, was playing in Halloween. This one, it's Robot Monster, which is the really low budget B film, where the alien is a gorilla suit with a diving helmet. You've seen it.
Right.
You've seen it. Yeah. Anyway, that's pointless.
I thought it was fun looking. So.
Yeah. Now, previously, Trent had thrown the script off to the side of the road. When he goes down to the motel, the dude's like, "Hey, this arrived for you. It was sent by mail, and it's the manuscript again." And so now he takes it and he goes and he burns it in the sink, thinking that'll take care of it. And then he hops on the bus, and there's this old lady I thought was hilarious to go, back in the day, it wasn't like this. And he looks absolutely miserable sitting next to her. And then he has a dream where Sutter Kane comes to him again, and he's like, you're going to deliver my manuscript, blah, 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 blah. By the way, did I ever tell you that my favorite color was blue? And when Sam wakes up, everybody around him is blue. The whole thing is blue, and he starts freaking out, and that was a dream.
I love that part.
Yeah. And then so he goes to a travel agency, and he's like berating this travel agent about Hobbs End, and she's like, it doesn't exist. And my favorite Trent line, I think, is, I want to see your supervisor. Say, okay, Karen. We get to we see that Hobbs End poster again, and this time he goes and he tears it away, and behind it is the poster for the new one, which is called In the Mouth of Madness, and he's on the cover,
right?
Which is kind of cool. He finally gets back to the book publisher. Charlton Heston has no idea who Styles is. Basically thinks that Trent's crazy,
right?
And he's like, well, anyway, you can't print this book. And he's like, what are you talking about? You delivered it like a month ago. It's already in print. It's the number one seller or whatever. And he's like, this story could drive people mad. And he's like, let's hope so. The movie's coming out soon. So it's like, everything's going to be fucked. And then violent crime against the clergy. I think that was on a news report. So everybody's starting to go crazy. And Sam Neill kind of flips out and buys his axe from the axe shop where everybody gets their axes.
Right, like this kid looks at him. He talks to this kid and he's like, "Whoa, you like really like Sutter Kane books?" And he's like, "Yeah, I love them." And he just is like,
"It's like then you should be expecting this or something like that."
Right.
And totally just kills this dude. Now I don't understand. Trent, I understand that you kind of want to stop this, but I don't think killing individual people one at a time is really going to achieve much, dude.
Right.
So everything's going crazy. And now we're back. We're back in the present. He's in the insane asylum. He's finishing up telling his story. And the dude leaves, and then all of a sudden, like everything like everything goes black. I think again, you hear people screaming outside, and there's something pounding at his door, and his door gets completely broken. So when it all stops and the lights are back on, he comes out, and you can see strewn all over the floor of this insane asylum are all Sutter Kane books, like. Mm-hmm. I don't know where they came from, but yeah, they're all like torn apart and laying around everywhere. So nobody's there. He walks out and he's walking into the town, and everything's ransacked, destroyed. There's radio reports that people are mutating and all that. And he looks up at the theater, and there's the movie In the Mouth of Madness. And if you look at the poster, it's starring John Trent. And it even says it's directed by John Carpenter and all that. So it's really kind of clever if you look really hard at the credits at the bottom. It's pretty cool. And he goes into the movie theater, and it's basically showing clips of everything that we've already seen happen. And he starts laughing. He's eating popcorn. He starts laughing and losing his mind. And the end.
It's a good time. The ending kind of reminded me of like the ending of Blazing Saddles.
yeah.
Also of like the ending of Texas Chainsaw, where she's just kind of like laughing as she's being driven away. It's so cathartic. Like you just want to laugh with him.
Yep. And then we get the rip-off Metallica music again. So Jamila, I'm sure you enjoyed that. So
like this is y'all's genre, and you're like, ugh, it's gross. I don't like it. I'm like, oh, it's fun.
So yeah, this movie came out. I don't think it did not do very well at all. It only made, I think, $7 million off the $8 million budget, so it didn't even make its money back.
Right.
I don't know. It made $9 million, so it's still, with marketing and all that, you got to make at least half of what your budget was. It would have had to make $16 million to at least break even. They only made $9.
Right.
Critics didn't really get it. A lot of them said, like, it was too complicated and hard to follow.
Yeah.
And there were a few of them that actually really thought it was one of the best movies of the year.
Yeah.
So it's really split between the two.
Yeah, I actually looked it up. The Cahiers du Cinema, they had this as they have a top 10 list every year, and this was on their top 10 list. I was like, oh, that's surprising.
Sweet. So at this point, we've got there's a Ben's segment here. Fuck, marry, kill. Who are we gonna have sexual intercourse with? Who are we gonna spend the rest of our lives with? And who are we gonna totally eradicate? Ben, have you put any thought into it? Do you know who you would pick?
I have to. I will. I gotta look up the characters.
Oh, now he gets his notes.
Yeah, I'm so bad with characters.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm going to fuck Sutter Kane. Although
I'm kind of surprised it's not Sam Neill, but okay.
He's just too thirsty. I don't know. I'm gonna marry Charlton Heston.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because like he's the only one. He's like, I don't read any of the books. They're just too much for me. I'm like, well, you're gonna be careful. You're gonna be sane. You'd be a good partner. Yeah, and then I'm going to kill Sam Neill. But I don't know what I might do with him before then, so,
That might be the best response that we've had so far. I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That adds a whole new element to the thing.
Right.
Well, I am definitely going to fuck the receptionist, the redhead.
All right, we established that.
Oh man, this is tough. I think that you might be right about Heston. Oh man.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think I'm gonna marry Sutter Kane. Actually.
Okay.
We're gonna take over the world together.
Alrighty.
And last one, once you get your voice back.
And I'm definitely gonna kill Trent because I just he's.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say homegirl because you hated her pantsuit so much.
Oh no, that's fine. It was the 90s. I'll give her the exception. That's hysterical.
You're like, she has bad fashion choices. Ew.
I'm also gonna fuck the redhead.
All right.
I also got a thing for redheads as well. I'm going to marry Charlton Heston. He's the most established and well off, right? He's got a good, solid publishing job, whatnot, and he won't go crazy, like you said, because he won't read the books.
Right.
Oh, by the way, I kind of, there was one thing that one thing that the movie kind of touched on a bit was what happens when everybody around you is going crazy and you're the only one left. Then that makes you the crazy one. Sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I am going to kill, only because Jamila brought it up. I'm going to kill Styles because of her pantsuit choice.
Because of her pantsuit choice. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
man.
not because she's a contortionist or anything. It's just...
Oh, God.
So I love this movie. I don't think I love it as much as The Thing. I know, Jamila, you had a chance to check out The Thing.
Yeah.
That's
I
like,
guess I gotta watch it again because I was like, this is the one that you guys think is so great. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think this movie is way better. Honestly, I'm not a big Halloween person, so this is definitely like one of my favorite Carpenters, and I think it's super underrated.
Yeah.
Maybe because I like a lot of meta horror movies. Like I love Scream. And even Roger Ebert said in his review, like, this is like around the time New Nightmare came out, which I don't love that. I like the concept for that movie, but it definitely was like, oh, this is like a predecessor to Scream. And I feel like this did it even better before Scream even came out, before Cabin in the Woods and all that. I think it's just way more fun.
in terms of fun, yeah, this one is more fun. The Thing is it will always be in my top 5. Because I fell in love with that movie as a very young age. I was way too young to be watching it on VHS with my family, but it really kind of ignited my love for practical effects and horror movies in general. I like the who is it? Who the fuck is the Thing? It can be anybody. The distrust, right? Everybody's accusing everybody else. The effects, though, are really what sell it. They still, a lot of them, the majority of them, still hold up. And that movie was made in 1981.
Right.
That's because of Rob Bottin, who did that at a very, very, very young age.
Right.
So The Thing, I give a 5. Obviously, I give In the Mouth of Madness, I give it a 4. I really, really
I think
love
I gave it a 4 too. Yeah.
Sweet.
No, which is good for me.
I'm at a 3.5, but I definitely think that with time this could definitely go to a 4 because it's a really, really well made film, and I think that in other hands this movie is not a good movie. Like Carpenter's attention to detail and all the little things that like the little clues and kind of things that he does is what takes it really to a different level than just some basic horror movie. But yeah, it's a very solid 3.5. I wouldn't be against doing a 4, but right now it's a 3.5.
I think 3.5 is good.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Like somebody got mad at me that I gave Barbie a 3.5. I'm like, chill.
I mean, Barbie's a 5 for me, but that's
okay.
I love Barbie. The Thing is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. It's a 5. It's a 6 if I could give it a 6.
Oh wow.
It's
definitely in my top 10. There's easily.
I love the part where he pours the coffee on the computer.
Oh, that was Jim Beam. Jim Beam, because there's always Jim Beam, and when he's always drinking, he's playing a computer chess game, a very early computer chess game, and he loses the game. So yeah, he opens it up. There's a little door in the computer, and he dumps it in there, and he goes, "Cheating bitch." That's
because he was playing chess. Yeah.
The great Kurt Russell and his hat. The hat in that movie is given a great performance as well.
So Kurt Russell, back in the day,
he's a total hottie. Yeah.
I'm not gay, but man, Kurt Russell was, especially when he had a beard. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Like he's up there for all-time hotties.
Yeah. Like I see you, Goldie Hawn.
So we also usually do something where we'll talk about what would you pair this with if somebody hasn't seen this movie. What's a movie that you would pair it with? It doesn't have to be the same. It doesn't have to be the same subject matter. Just like similar vibe, similar feel to it. For
if you were gonna program like a double feature, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good question. I would say Cabin in the Woods. Probably that, or probably the 70s Body Snatchers.
Ooh,
Kind of reminded me of that as well.
yeah. A nice apocalyptic ending as well.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Okay.
You both were like, huh.
So I don't want to steal your choice, but it's a really good choice, Cabin in the Woods, especially the last half of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards, and this is like way out of left field, but I kind of it like came to me, and I can't kind of get it out of my head, and I don't even really love this movie. I like it, but Eli Roth's Sacrament.
I have not seen it.
It's about Jim Jones, like kind of like Johnstown, like cult leader kind of thing.
Okay.
And because I feel like Sutter Kane is kind of like a similar character, and like that he's like trying to like bring all these people to fulfill this religious and apocalyptic ending, which is what Jim Jones was doing. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm probably way off, but that was just kind of the first thing that came to my mind.
So, I would probably pair it with Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I think thematically they both kind of match up together with art and reality crossing over and like that.
Are you a big fan of New Nightmare?
I love it up until about the last 20 minutes or so. I think it kind of falls apart.
I can't stand that kid.
Oh, me neither. Oh God, I can't stand that fucking kid.
He's in another movie. It's like he's in Home Alone or something. He's like,
wasn't he in the?
I like characters who feel like they're not in the same movie. I think it's funny.
Even the kid in The Shining, even though he didn't know he was in a horror movie, he feels like he's in a horror movie. This kid was like they got him off of Disney or something. I'm sorry, but he was not working for me.
Was this the same kid that was in the TV version of The Shining?
Was he?
I'm not. Who's got quick fingers?
Let's see. I'm a fan of
because he's got like the fucked up mouth, and he sounds like a snotty little fucking brat.
We don't have to say things about his appearance.
Okay.
I just did not think he was a good actor. God bless him.
Well, his mouth is always open.
Was his name Dylan?
It's always open.
Was his name Dylan?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my God. Poor Nancy.
All right. So
poor Nancy stuck with that horrible child.
Yeah.
He was in Kindergarten Cop, Pet Sematary, New Nightmare. What's the name of the Shining movie? Is it just called The Shining?
The Shining miniseries. I got it. I got it here. Is it Cortland? Here, I got him. Cortland Mead.
That's a name.
That is quite a name, and no, it is not the same person. He was in Hellraiser Bloodline, though.
All right.
Oh my God! Wait. It is the kid from Kindergarten Cop.
Did you have any doubts about that?
Well, it's the kid. It's the kid who's like, boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. That's the kid.
Mm.
Wow, yeah, I got this mixed up with the wrong kid.
This kid's name is Miko Hughes, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Still not a fan. I'm pretty harsh on child actors, I guess, but yeah. So
I know where I've seen him from. He was on Full House. He was like Michelle's friend or something off of Full House. Okay, sorry.
That's funny. Okay. Oh,
Well, I remember you, Ben. You asked when we watched it the first time. You were wondering, when you first go into the insane asylum, and there's that big hallway.
Yeah.
I know you had asked if it was the same one as Exorcist 3. No, it is not. But that was the actual location. That opening where you first go in. Now, when you get into the hallway with the cell doors and stuff like that, that was a set. But the very first when you first go into the insane asylum, that was the actual location, which is fucking looks great on the inside too.
Yeah.
Well, so have you seen Exorcist 3, Jamila?
No, I kind of want to.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you should.
Sorry.
Actually, you know what? I'm pairing this with Exorcist 3.
Really?
All right. Incentive.
Yeah. Explain.
Well, I mean, it's it's got like a similar story where the guy's in the insane asylum and he's telling the story to the cop, and I mean, it's not obviously the same, but I don't know, it's got a similar feel. I don't know. Let's stick to the sacrament.
It's okay. I'll watch the film. I'll watch the film, Ben, and I'll defend you.
No, you definitely. I really had a hard time trying to come up with something for this movie, and so I definitely am probably reaching. So,
did anybody notice, like, because Sam Neill's smoking all the time? Did you notice he wasn't smoking like regular like cigarettes? They were Canadian cigarettes. Because they're like wider and thinner boxes. Have you guys ever seen like the health warnings on a Canadian pack of cigarettes?
I don't smoke, so I don't know.
When I was living in Montreal, I was smoking Du Marie cigarettes.
Ooh,
yeah,
so fancy.
And they would flat out put a picture of fucking cancerous lungs and shit like that on there.
They do that in Europe too.
Yeah, it's pretty effective.
They actually care about their citizens' health,
right,
and whatnot.
I also kind of wanted to point out, this is interesting. They offered this to Carpenter in 1989, and he passed on it. So they shopped it around to some other directors. I can't remember who, but I guess he finally decided he needed a paycheck and hopefully a hit, and decided to do it.
He did a good job.
Yeah. I think it's the last good John Carpenter flick. Did Village of the Damned come after this, I think? Ghost of Mars. Those are the only ones that... Vampires, I think, came after this.
Wait, is that the one? That's the one with the dude.
Yeah,
it
like
feels
the
like
dude
a Robert
that's in the
Rodriguez movie. His name is escaping me from Videodrome.
Oh yeah, he's now right wing fucking freak.
James Woods.
James Woods.
There you go.
Yeah.
That was
man,
no. Listen, doesn't that movie feel like a Robert Rodriguez movie?
Like the first 30 minutes or so, when it's like them doing their thing and killing the nest of vampires. It's a fucking blast, and yeah, it does feel a lot like a Rodriguez joint. And then it just kind of falls flat, and it gets really fucking boring.
So, can we talk about Robert Rodriguez for a second? I had the highest hopes for that man's career, and I don't know what happened to him, but like, I saw Planet Terror in the theaters, and I was just like a kid at Christmas. It was so much fun, and I was like, this guy's gonna make so many amazing movies. And then he's doing like Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and I'm like, what happened to this dude? Like, he was
money.
He had kids. Dude, Shark Boy and Lava Girl was basically written by his children.
Yeah.
Oh God, Nix, I totally thought you were gonna say Shark Boy and Lava Girl totally rips. Like, don't.
That's actually Yeah, that's actually where I thought you were going with it. So I was like, okay, sorry. But yeah, like, I mean, like, his first movie was like, he did everything in the movie, and it was on a super small budget, and it was so cool and like stylized and.
That would be El Mariachi that you're referring to, where he basically sold his body to science in order to raise the money to make this movie. He went into did drug testing where they locked him up for like a month or something.
What are you talking about?
No, seriously, that's if you ever read about how that movie was made, I think in Film We Trust podcast did an episode on that movie, and they go into like the whole. It is the fact that movie was made is like a literal miracle. I mean, if you want to talk about like persistence to get a movie made, that man literally gave up his body to like make that movie, and so I just don't understand how he could go from this DIY guy doing these like crazy stylized movies to like kids movies. Like, it's so frustrating.
Dude, the kids movie thing is really simple. He had kids. He became a family man, so he wanted to make movies for them. But he also
you can still do that and make the cool stuff.
Yeah, but see, he started to get bigger budgets.
But if the cool stuff isn't making money, then he's got to do what the people want.
Because remember, he made 2 sequels to El Mariachi. He did Desperado with Antonio Banderas, which is awesome. And then he did Once Upon a Time in Mexico, which is not. So as he got,
I didn't hate it.
It was so bloated. I mean, it wasn't almost like 3 hours long.
Listen, plus Penelope Cruz is in it, so it doesn't matter.
Okay,
it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I love Penelope Cruz. She's like one of my all-time favorites, but yeah. Anyways.
So he also decided that he just wanted to shoot everything in his basement at this point too. So he started doing, the effects and the editing and all of that in his basement instead of, utilizing professionals, studios and whatnot. And I think that had an effect as well. But Jamila, are you a reader? Oh shit.
Yeah, I sure hope I'm a reader. Yeah.
These are the kind of
that was a great question.
Really about questions that you will get on the shit show. So there's Robert Rodriguez wrote a book all about making that called Rebel Without a Crew, and it's a fascinating read.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
It'll tell you all about how he got that made. And it's also like a good guide for up and coming filmmakers as well. Lots of good tips and advice on just how to go out there and get your shit made. That's the main thing, is you just got to go do it instead of talking about it.
Got to check that out.
Yeah, it's really
I do love The Faculty. So
me too.
I'll just say that.
Yeah. A big fan of that one.
That's another one, because it's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but for teenagers. So you could pair that with this movie as well.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, wow, I just lost my whole train of thought. Oh, that's why I love like directors like Sean Baker and I just forgot Harmony Korine and stuff like that. Like, obviously now they're getting bigger budgets, but they just got together their friends and they made movies. And if you have a good story, the rest of it doesn't really matter that much. You'll find an audience. So
right.
Well, if we're on the subject of Invasion of the Body Snatcher ripoffs, you could always go with Full Moon's Pod People.
I have not seen that.
I'm not familiar with that.
It was a very early Full Moon flick. Full Moon, of course, Charles Band's studio that he started with. They do all the Puppet Master movies, Subspecies, Tiny Things. He likes tiny things. So anyway,
I love tiny things.
Well, Full Moon has got you covered. They also do The Ginger Dead Man with Gary Busey as the voice of the Ginger Dead Man. There's also.
Are you okay?
No, most of them are not great. But anyway, Pod People is not great either. There was when I was a kid, there was like this made-for-TV movie called.
Wait, they had TVs when you were a kid?
It was made out of rocks, but yes, we had television. I think it was called The Cactus People, and people would like turn into cacti. And they had a child novelization of it with pictures, and it always freaked me out. But I never got to see the movie. I should see if I can find that now.
This reminds me. I had this thought. I was like, if this movie was a success, it probably would have come out with like some sort of novelization called "In the Mouth of Madness."
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, I also wrote this one thought down. I was watching the Sutter Kane scene. I was like, what did I say? Okay, I'm just gonna say this. I don't mean this pejoratively, but can you imagine the damage Taylor Swift could do if she had Lovecraftian author powers?
I mean, I'd be killing people with an axe right now if that was the case.
Right. Oh, because you're a hardcore Swiftie?
Yes.
No.
Oh, really?
No. Got it backwards.
Okay, so you know how they do the Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year?
Yes.
So I was in the. I shouldn't say this out loud. I was in the 0.5% of. Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't know. This might be worse. I was in the top 5% of all Taylor Swift listeners in the world.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Oh wow! You don't have anything against her, really? You know, I used to listen to her.
It's fun if you do. It's fun.
No, I'm not going on record saying I have anything against Taylor Swift.
What is she, the Clinton? She's gonna have you killed?
No, her fans will.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, yeah, you know what? You're smart. You love Taylor Swift.
No, I liked. It's weird. I remember when she kind of turned pop with Red, and I was just like, I don't even like country music, but like that. But I was like, that's such a sellout. Like, why did she do that? Like, everybody in my family were like, oh my god, it's so lame.
Well, I once. Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh no, but I did like a lot of the songs from 1989. I haven't really kept up with her since then.
Well, I can say very confidently I have never willingly listened to a full Taylor Swift song.
Right. But you have listened to it because they'll play that song in Marshalls all the time. Like I had grown men coming in there like shopping and singing, you know, all the lyrics.
Oh yeah.
But I did one time. I made the bold statement that all of her costumes make her look like she's wearing adult diapers. And somebody was like, do you have a death wish?" I'm like,
exactly.
It's just
you can't say stuff like that. You need to edit this part out right now.
Who edits?
I'm curious. I'm curious. What does it say on your shirt? Yeah.
This is the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. This is my pajama clothes, so.
I've always wanted to get a Powerpuff Girl tattoo, but I haven't decided which one.
You should get one of Mojo Jojo.
Oh, yeah. Or
I do like
Homegirl
Jojo.
with the legs. She was cute.
I
can see that.
Mojo Jojo was my favorite.
She was a redhead.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, this episode is going super off the rails. We're talking about Powerpuff Girls.
No.
So, is there anything else that you want to promote or talk about? Do you know when you guys are going to release your first episode yet, or not yet?
Yeah, we just recorded, and we're doing A Christmas Carol. We're doing the Scrooge movie that nobody talks about. It's called Scrooge. It's like a musical adaptation with Albert Finney. So we hope to release that before Christmas. And it's gonna be It's gonna be really rough at first, since this is the first episode. But we're just kind of dipping our toes in it, and hopefully we'll get better.
Oh, we say that about ourselves all the time because we don't know what we're doing.
I think we're still pretty rough, and we're how many episodes in now at this point?
10 official episodes, and then we have the specials and shorts.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys do like an episode a week?
Generally, yes. There was a week there where, I don't know, we had done like 3 or 4 in a week, so we built up a backlog, so if somebody's sick or we can't do one, we've got stuff ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're recording with? What are you going to use to record? What did you use to record?
Okay, so I'm in school right now. I'm in community college, and they have this really great, the new library, they have a recording studio. So, Heather was like, oh, like, you should check out if your school has something. And I was like, oh, we do. And so, but the term is ending. They use, like, Audacity. But her boyfriend is, like, super savvy with all that stuff. So, they already, like, downloaded some sort of software and...
Cool.
Yeah, we're figuring it out as we go along. You see, I have this microphone that I've had for years that I finally figured out how to use, and have an excuse to use. So that helps.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah,
That's
this
awesome.
is the ice thing, the super cheap blue ice mic.
I got a Blue Yeti myself. It was $100 or something dollars. Is pretty cheap. I hear people ragging on those. Like, you shouldn't go with Blue Yeti. I'm like, it sounds great. I don't know. I don't want to spend $1,000 on a fucking mic. If you can hear me, then good. That's good enough.
Yeah. I would just say don't overthink it. Like, just get the practice in, start recording, and just
Is she gonna? She and her boyfriend, or they're gonna do the editing and stuff?
Well, we all are going to participate. He's like a video game streamer, so he has some experience with that. So he's kind of helping us along with that.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely when you post it up, we'll definitely be promoting that for you as well. We're gonna
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We gotta
we'll
support
have
each
you guys
other.
on if you have a book. Maybe it's a Lovecraft book.
Yeah,
Jane Eyre.
Yeah, we could do a Reanimator or From Beyond or something.
Yeah.
I would pick Jane Eyre, but I'm, a
I love Jane Eyre. Yeah.
We may have to go separately then.
What, you don't want to know about Mr. Rochester and
Jane Eyre is like probably one of my favorite movies, our favorite books. So yeah,
I love Jane Eyre. Yeah.
Have you seen the who did it?
The Carrie Fukunaga.
Yeah. Have you seen that version?
I love that version. Yeah.
So it's so good.
It's so good. So good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll come on and talk about Jane Eyre if you want.
Yeah.
And I'll bring you some horror goodies. That's what we'll do.
Hey. So that's me. Jane Eyre's me. Horror's Heather. So you guys are.
There you go.
Beating both of us.
That's awesome. That's perfect.
So, as usual, Ben, I'm glad you're with me, buddy. I couldn't do this without you. And Jamila, thanks so much for coming and spending your time with two crazy fucking idiots.
It's been great.
And like Ben said, just jump in with both feet and just go for it. And just roll with it. And I'm sure you'll do great. Everybody, you can find Jamila and her upcoming podcast at Read It Peep. That's Peep, like the Easter treat. And you can find us, of course, at Cinema Shit Show. We're on Blue Sky Cinema Shit Show. We have a Facebook group. You'll never believe what we called it. We called it Cinema Shit Show. And, and the most exciting thing, I think, is this. Ben actually did something, and he created an email account. That is cinemashitshow@gmail.com. I'm sure it was very complicated and very costly, but he did do
very
it.
difficult.
Yes.
I had to actually use my own personal blood to make it happen.
Oh wow!
Yeah, blood sacrifice.
Insaniacs that actually listened and made it to the end, we appreciate you. Please stick with us as we continue to grow. And everybody have this probably won't come out before Christmas, but Merry Christmas, everybody. All right. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
What the fuck was that?
Is that what a podcast is?
I guess so.
It's very entertaining.
I suppose.
Oh.